Hey guys, welcome back. It's Joseph. Quick and simple gospel. Yeshua, Jesus, came to this earth, lived a perfect 33 years, was crucified on a cross for our sins, buried in a tomb for 3 days, and rose from the grave on the third day. We are saved through faith in Christ alone and by no other name. Amen. So good afternoon, guys. Hope you are doing well. Got some big breaking news. If you can believe this, we have another plane incident. Passengers on Houston to New York United Airlines flight evacuated after plane catches on fire on the runway. And guys, this is all connected to the plane crash in Philadelphia, and it's also connected to the plane and helicopter collision that happened in Washington. So this is just unbelievable what I'm about to show you. You're going to see how it all connects. And remember, we connected the one in Washington, D.C. and the one in Philadelphia to Kobe Bryant and the Super Bowl. And as you're going to see, this decode right here, it's all connected to Kobe Bryant and the Super Bowl yet again. So we'll get started here in a few seconds. Let me say hi to the chat. And guys, do me a favor when you come in, please hit the like button. Very much appreciated. Helps out the algorithm and helps more people find the video. And also, please hit the share button. That way we can get this out to more people. Hey, Javon, good to see you. Hey, Gene Spliced. Hey, Scott. Hey, Cleveland. Hey, Patrick. Hey, Shane. Hope you guys are all doing well. Hey, Judy. Can you believe this, guys? Another plane incident, right? I mean, even without the numbers, what are the odds? We have another plane incident this week after all the plane incidents already. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. It's going to be a bit of a longer show today. Got a lot to talk about. So grab your popcorn, get comfy. Here we go. All right, guys, just give me a second to get all set up over here. We'll get started in just a minute. You guys aren't going to believe this one. I'm telling you. If you guys thought the other decodes were good, I think this might be the best decode out of all three of them. As you're going to see. It just brings it all together, guys. So let me see. How we looking? I think that looks pretty good. All right. Here we go. Passengers on Houston to New York United Airlines flight evacuated after plane catches fire on runway. This article from today, February 2nd. All right, guys. So we're going to break this down all by the numbers using Gematria, which is simply letters as numerals. And once you learn the simple code of coding letters into numbers, you can see right through the scripted coded news every day. Check out this headline. Passengers on Houston to New York United Airlines flight evacuated after plane catches fire on runway. Guys, in Gematria, runway equals 33. Today is the 33rd day of the year. Runway equals 33. Today is the 33rd day of the year. The plane was headed to New York. New York equals 33. Today is Sunday. Sunday equals 33. This happened at the George Bush Intercontinental Airport. Today is 33 weeks from George Bush's birthday. How about that? And did we not just have an incident where a plane collided with a helicopter as it was approaching runway 33? You know what's funny? We've been talking about that all week, right? I just realized today that the word runway equals 33. Wow. So, of course, what a perfect day for this story. Okay, the 33rd day of the year, runway 33. This happened on the runway. And it was headed to New York, 33. Today's a Sunday, 33. And today is 33 weeks from George Bush's birthday. It was the George Bush Airport. Don't forget masonry equals 33. and the highest degree of masonry, the 33rd degree. So, like I just said, a few days ago, we had the plane and the helicopter collision as that plane was approaching runway 33. And I told you how that connected to Kobe Bryant. And Kobe equals 33. And Kobe wore the number 33 in high school. Now, why did we connect that story to Kobe Bryant? Number one, it involved a helicopter. Kobe died in a helicopter, right? Well, helicopter equals 666. Kobe scored his career high in game number 666. Well, the Philadelphia Eagles just advanced to the Super Bowl, and they picked up win number 666 all time on the anniversary of Kobe's death, right? And remember, that morning of the game, before the game was played, the Eagles tweeted out a picture of a helicopter, right? And then by beating the Commanders, they picked up win number 666, leaving the Washington team on 666 wins all time. So the Washington team and the Philadelphia team, they both have 666 wins all time right now. Now remember, that plane that collided with the helicopter, it was an American Eagle, like the Eagles, and it was coming from Wichita, Kansas, kind of like Kansas City. And I know Kansas City is in Missouri, but where was the plane going that crashed in Philadelphia? It was going to Missouri. So if you think all that's a coincidence, you'd be incorrect. Now don't forget, that was the Commanders' first conference championship game in 33 years. And that Black Hawk helicopter went down 33 days after the anniversary of Black Hawk Down, making its premiere, December 28th. Now also, the word collide equals 33, and we're connecting this to the Super Bowl and Kobe Bryant. So remember, Kobe equals 33, but also, and remember, Kobe Bryant's from Philadelphia. He's a Philadelphia Eagles fan. And they're playing the Chiefs. The Chiefs quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. And that helicopter plane collision was 33 weeks before Mahomes' birthday. And then how about the most recent one? The Philadelphia plane crash. Remember the little girl, after she made the stop in Missouri, land of the Kansas City Chiefs? She was ultimately headed for Mexico, right? Which equaled 33. So the last three plane stories all connect to the number 33, especially today. Today's the 33rd day of the year. This happened on the runway, which equals 33. It was headed to New York, 33. Today's a Sunday, 33. It was the George Bush Airport. It's 33 weeks from George Bush's birthday. Okay? And then we had the helicopter and plane collide. Collide equals 33. Approaching runway, 33. And then in Philly, the little girl was eventually supposed to land in Mexico, eventually, which equaled 33. All right, moving on. You guys ready for the big part? Are you ready for the big part, guys? I need everybody to hit the like button on this one. Guys, the plane was headed to New York. 9/11. One of the biggest, not one of, the biggest plane disaster day in world history. 9/11, guys. Hold on, I'm getting a message. Let me get rid of that. Sorry. 9/11. Biggest plane disaster day in world history, right? This plane was headed to New York, right? Where 9/11 went down with the towers, right? Well, what if I told you today is 222 days before 9/11. United Airlines flight equals 222, and it was headed to LaGuardia, which is in New York, New York, which is where the towers were, which equals 222. And today is February 2nd, my friends, which equals 222. And did I not connect the last two plane stories to the number 222? I sure did. And I'm going to show you all that again. But I'm sorry if I'm a little bit excited, guys. This is huge. We have a story with a plane today headed to New York. 222 days before the anniversary of 9/11, the biggest plane disaster day in all of history. United Airlines flight 222. It was headed to New York, New York, 222. And today is February 2nd, 222. Drop the mic. My goodness. Now, how about that Plane crash in Philadelphia. It happened 222 days before the Philadelphia mayor's birthday. It happened 222 days after the president of Mexico's birthday. Why does that matter? Because allegedly, everybody on the plane was from Mexico. And the little girl in the medevac, she was staying at Shriners Hospital, which equals 222. Shriners, connected to Freemasonry. The Freemason motto, order out of chaos, is 222. The plane that collided with the helicopter, that was flight 5342. When you write out 5342, it equals 222. And I'm telling you, this is all connected to the Super Bowl and the Chiefs and the Eagles, right? So let me just show you, again, how important that number 222 has been with the Chiefs. Now, this was Andy Reid's first Super Bowl win. He picked up his first Super Bowl win the same day he got win number 222. His 222nd career win was his first Super Bowl win. That was the first Super Bowl during the time of COVID. Guys, COVID was declared a pandemic exactly 222 months after 9/11. Hello. This was the first Super Bowl during the time of COVID. It was February 2nd, 2020. 2222. And like I just showed you, February 2nd equals 222. That's today's date. All right? Now, don't forget, COVID declared a pandemic 222 months after 9/11. That's what we're talking about. Wuhan coronavirus equals 222. Obama tested positive for COVID 222 days from his birthday. The Antichrist, Barack Obama, 222. And the 222 is also a huge number with Donald Trump. We had the first U.S. case of COVID January 21st, 2020. That was 222 days after Trump's birthday. And let me go back, just in case I forgot to mention. That Super Bowl, where Andy Reid picked up win number 222, the first Super Bowl during the time of COVID, don't forget, that was just days after Kobe Bryant died. Okay, remember, Kobe kicked off coronavirus. Kobe buried in Corona Del Mar, right? Helicopter equals 666, like vaccination 666. Declared a pandemic 666 days after the Cladex pandemic simulation. So anyways, back to Trump and the number 222. So the first U.S. case of COVID was 222 days after Trump's birthday. And Trump just rolled out the Stargate Project on the anniversary of the first U.S. case. And the Stargate Project had to do with, AI vaccines. Look, it was 222 days after Trump's birthday. They announced the Stargate Project. And Trump just won the election 222 days before his birthday. And Trump equals 222. And then back to coronavirus, which again was declared a pandemic 222 months after 9/11. Look at some of the other gematria. Wuhan coronavirus 222, World Economic Forum 222, Antichrist System 222, Event 201 222, that was the other pandemic simulation. Mandatory vaccination 222, COVID vaccines, vaccine cards, as above, so below, they're all 222. Don't forget the word beast is 222, the beast of Revelation is also 222. Okay, so obviously this 222 is kind of important, right? Well, back to Andy Reid when he picked up win number 222 in his first Super Bowl victory. Again, that was on February 2nd, which equals 222. And it was February 2nd, 2020, which equals 2220. And halftime was J-Lo. J-Lo equals 222. And the Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl 222 weeks after the Kansas City Royals won the World Series. Royal like a crown. Like Corona means crown, right? And the one Super Bowl that Mahomes lost, that was the Buccaneers Super Bowl in their home stadium where he lost to Brady. And Mahomes lost, his one Super Bowl that he lost was 222 days before his birthday. And that was the same year that Tom Brady, as a Buccaneer, picked up win number 222. That year. And then Brady came out of retirement 222 days from his birthday. And Patrick Mahomes holds the record for the most touchdown passes under the age of 29. The number is 222 touchdowns. And then another connection with the Chiefs, their Super Bowl last year The game winner was caught by Kerry Nicole Hardman Jr., and his birthday is 222 days from Obama's birthday. And remember how the Super Bowl last year was all connected to Obama and his movie Leave the World Behind about a blackout? Remember, this guy, when he caught the game winner, he said he blacked out, right? So here's the big connection to Leave the World Behind. Again, that was the first Super Bowl after Leave the World Behind. Leave the World Behind equals 192. That movie ends in the Commodus bunker. Commodus died in the year 192. Kerry Nicole Hardman Jr. equals 192. Super Bowl 58, when you write it out with the Roman numerals, equals 192. Halftime was Usher Raymond IV, which equals 192. Obama equals 192. That Super Bowl was 192 days from Obama's birthday. Don't forget, Great Tribulation equals 192. Now there's rumors that Obama's dating Jennifer Aniston. Remember, Obama's movie had Friends as a theme. Jennifer Aniston born 192 days from Obama's birthday. And then we just had the second inauguration of Trump 192 months after Obama's inauguration. But anyway, just wanted to throw that out there. Kerry Nicole Hardman Jr., very connected to Obama and Obama's movie. Now, since we're talking about Kobe and the number 222, remember Kobe kicked off coronavirus, right? Which is all connected to the number 222. I just wanted to remind you of this ritual. Francis Ngannou, the UFC fighter, he confirmed the death of his infant son, Kobe. And his little son, Kobe, was named after Kobe Bryant. Well, little Kobe died on April 27th, 2024. He died exactly 222 weeks and 0 days after Kobe Bryant died. And look at the dad's name, Francis Ngannou, 222. So that should tell you there's definitely something to the 222. But let me go back. Look at all these 222s. Let me go back to where we started. If you're coming in late, look at this. I've already showed you how the first two plane incidents this week connected to the number 222. And now today, right, on the most perfect day, as this plane is headed to New York, right, where the towers went down on 9/11, right? You're telling me we get this news today 222 days before the anniversary of 9/11? United Airlines flight 222, New York, 222. On February 2nd, 222. COVID declared a pandemic 222 months after 9/11. We just had Philly 222 days before the mayor's birthday, 222 days after the president's birthday, the president of Mexico. Everybody on the plane from Mexico. The little girl was at Shriners Hospital 222. We had flight 5342. When you write that out, it's 222. This stuff is undeniable. All right, moving on from the 222 to the number 55. Because we've been talking a lot about the number 55, right? And I'm gonna get to why. But number one, know this. The airport where this happened, the George Bush Intercontinental Airport, which was originally called the Houston Intercontinental Airport. Anyways, same airport. The airport where this happened, it opened on June 8th, 1969. Guys, that was 55 years ago. And Satan equals 55. So why does the number 55 matter? Because we're connecting this to the Eagles, right? Remember, we had the American Eagle crash into the helicopter on just a few days after the Eagles scored 55, right? And they scored 55 on the anniversary of Kobe's death, right? That's when they picked up win number 666. It was on the anniversary of Kobe's death, who died in a helicopter, right? It's so much to try to remember off the top of my head. Thank God for the slides. But long story short, guys, we've been talking a lot about the 55 here because the Eagles scored the 55, right? And then we had a Learjet 55 crash into Philadelphia, where Kobe's from. And then there's also a song by the Eagles called Old 55. But the plane that crashed in Philadelphia, it crashed 5 years and 5 days after Kobe died. And the eyewitness in Philadelphia was Vadim Osipov, which equaled 55. And after stopping in Missouri, the home of the Chiefs, the plane was headed for Tijuana, Mexico, which equals 55. And the mayor let us know that they opened up a shelter in the 5500 block of Langdon Street, which equals 55. So we've been talking so much about these plane crashes and the number 55 lately. Don't you think it's fitting that Satan equals 55? And how rare is it to score 55 points in the NFL, right? So they just happened to score 55 on the day they picked up win number 666. What are the odds? But yeah, the airport where this happened, it's 55 years old, okay? Now, the airport opened on June 8th. That means today is 126 days before the anniversary of the airport. Look at the gematria of the word plane. It equals 126. Today's 126 days before the anniversary of this airport. When did Kobe Bryant die? Kobe died on 126. That's the same day the Eagles picked up win number 666 on the anniversary of Kobe's death. What if I told you today is exactly 262 weeks and 0 days after Kobe Bryant died, and the word plane also equals 262? Try to wrap your head around that. I'm telling you, this is all connected to Kobe and the Super Bowl, as you're going to see the big Super Bowl connections here in a second. This is wild. That airport opened on June 8th. Today's 126 days before June 8th. Plane equals 126. Kobe died on 126. Today's 262 weeks and 0 days after Kobe Bryant died. Plane is also 262. Kobe died in a crash. Right? Obviously not a plane, but still. This is all connected to Kobe. Okay, this happened at the George Bush Airport, right? The George Herbert Walker Bush Airport, right? It's named after George Herbert Walker Bush, not George W. Bush. Just for the record, right? So George Herbert Walker Bush, he was the 41st president. Well, how does that connect? Because Kobe Bryant equals 41. And Kobe died at the age of 41. And Super Bowl equals 41. This is all connected to the Super Bowl. And Skull and Bones equals 41. Well, that's interesting. Wasn't George H.W. Bush a member of Skull and Bones? Oh, look, he sure was. Okay? So, let's not forget, the plane that crashed in Philadelphia, it was in the air for 41 seconds. That crashed in Philadelphia, Kobe Bryant's hometown. It was in the air for 41 seconds, guys. Kobe died at the age of 41. Kobe Bryant equals 41. That crash happened near the Roosevelt Mall. Roosevelt equals 41, like Super Bowl 41. There were 6 people on the plane. 6 people equals 41. Don't forget Roosevelt was a perfect match to the Super Bowl in every cipher. Don't forget Eagles is a perfect match to crash in 3 out of the 4 base ciphers. I'm going to cover all that in a little bit. Now, speaking of Kobe and 41, just in case you think this stuff is a coincidence, when Kobe scored his career-high 81 points in game number 666, the rest of the team scored 41. In Kobe's last game, when he scored 60, the rest of the team scored 41. Kobe's last shot in the NBA was over a player wearing the number 41 jersey. When Kobe came off the court for the last time, there were 4.1 seconds left on the clock. And in the film The Black Mamba, Kobe starred with Kanye West. During the film, Kobe threw a basketball time bomb at Kanye West's helicopter. The last you see of the basketball time bomb, the countdown time is 4.1. And by the way, Kobe died in a helicopter. So yes, George H.W. Bush, the 41st president, member of Skull and Bones, and we just had that Philly plane in the air for 41 seconds. Now, you ready for this? Speaking of Skull and Bones, George H.W. Bush, member of Skull and Bones, what if I told you this incident today in Houston is 322 weeks after George H.W. Bush died? Drop the mic, folks. 322, the number of Skull and Bones. This happened in Houston. Houston equals 322. Today is 322 weeks after George Herbert Walker Bush died. November 30th, 2018. And guys, do me a favor when you come in, please hit that like button. Very much appreciated. If you have a Facebook, please share this out immediately. If you have a Twitter, please share this out immediately. Thank you, guys. So that's a huge skull and bones connection, right? Well, check this out. The plane that crashed in Philadelphia, it crashed 223 days before 9/11. And Philadelphia equals 223. And the synagogue of Satan equals 223. And Revelation 3:7-9 mentions the angel of the church in Philadelphia and the synagogue of Satan. Right? Remember how Philadelphia scored 55 points, Satan equals 55? Well, the synagogue of Satan is 223, like Philadelphia 223. That plane crash was 223 days before the anniversary of 9/11. And I put out a short video on this earlier, and you know what I forgot to mention? I forgot to mention the word plane equals 223 in satanic. And we're talking about the synagogue of Satan. I mean, wow. Okay? So 223 is the backwards 322. Skull and crossbones is also 223, right? And we know 9/11 was connected to skull and bones because who was the president at the time during 9/11? It was George W. Bush, the son of George Herbert Walker Bush. And didn't George H.W. Bush give a speech about a new world order on September 11th, 1990, exactly 11 years before it happened? Right? So, on top of all that, Philadelphia Eagles and Kansas City Chiefs equals 322. And I'm telling you, all this stuff is connected, guys. I mean, how could it not be? That's just crazy. Plane, 223. Philadelphia, 223. The Synagogue of Satan, 223. You have a plane crash in Philadelphia 223 days before the anniversary of 9/11? Okay. Backwards 322. Philadelphia Eagles and Kansas City Chiefs, 322. And today is 322 weeks after George H.W. Bush died. This happened in Houston, which equals 322. Now, more connections to the Super Bowl here. Houston equals 32, like Eagles, 32. Chiefs, 32. Houston, 112. Super Bowl, 112. Chiefs, 112. The plane was headed to LaGuardia, which has that 323, like New York is 323. That's where the plane was headed, LaGuardia in New York. Notice Eagles equals 323, and Lucifer equals 323. And the plane was headed to New York, which equals 666. Like the Eagles are on 666 wins. And let's just say they happen to lose the Super Bowl, which I have no idea if they're going to be this bold with it. But let's say the Eagles lose the Super Bowl. Their all-time record is going to be 666 and 666 if they lose. Could be a trap, could be bait. Don't gamble either way. And we've been talking about 666 ever since that Eagles-Commanders game. I just want to give you a little background. Remember, it was the anniversary of Kobe Bryant's death, January 26th, who's from Philadelphia, when the Philadelphia Eagles picked up win number 666, leaving the Washington Commanders on 666 wins. And then we had a helicopter. Remember, Kobe died in a helicopter. Helicopter equals 666. We had a helicopter collide with a plane in Washington, right? And helicopter equals 666. And Kobe scored his career high, 81 points, in game number 666. And like I said earlier, before the game was played where they picked up win number 666, the Philadelphia Eagles tweeted out a picture of a helicopter. I mean, wow. That's pretty bold, man. And again, the plane that crashed into the helicopter, it was an American Eagle from Wichita, Kansas. You got the Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. And I know Wichita is Kansas and Kansas City's in Missouri, but we just had the plane crash in Philadelphia. And where was that plane headed? It was headed for Missouri. This stuff is a perfect puzzle, guys. Now, a few more connections with that number 666. Because remember, they said the crash in Philadelphia happened at 6:06. And Philadelphia just happens to equal 6:06. And they told us 6 people were killed on the plane. and 6 people on the ground were hospitalized. And I played the videos yesterday and during the live. We've already heard it a couple times. In the video, remember, we did this all live the night it happened. They said 6 cars were on fire and 6 houses were on fire. So let's put that all together. 6 houses on fire, 6 cars on fire. It crashed at 6:06 with 6 on the plane, 6 on the ground hospitalized. Philadelphia equals 6:06, like the time it crashed. And you're telling me this all happens in Philadelphia right before the Super Bowl? And the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be in the Super Bowl going into the game with 666 wins? This is absolutely crazy stuff, man. More Super Bowl connections. George Bush Intercontinental Airport has that 172 like Kansas City Chiefs 172. And we just had the plane crash in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, right, where Josh Shapiro is the governor of Pennsylvania. And notice, Pennsylvania had the 172 like Kansas City Chiefs. Pennsylvania also had the 64 like Kansas City Chiefs 64. And going back to the plane that collided with the helicopter, how many were on the plane? 64 people total, right? And then guess where Josh Shapiro was born? The governor of Pennsylvania. He just happened to be born in Kansas City, Missouri. And then there's other stuff on here, but I'm not going to touch on everything right now. I just want to mention this number 131 before my next slide. I pointed out that it was interesting. The Super Bowl is going to be played February 9th. That's going to be 131 days before Shapiro's birthday. Like Super Bowl is 131, Roosevelt 131. And this happened it happened near the Roosevelt Mall, right? And don't forget, I'm going to show you later, but they announced the name of the pilot, guys, of the airplane that crashed in Philadelphia. Not only does his name equal 131, the pilot, it's, I can't think of his name. I think it was Alan Montoya. I have the slide for you. But yeah, the pilot of the airplane, his name was 131, and his name equals Kobe Bryant in multiple ciphers, as you're going to see. But anyways, the Super Bowl is going to be 131 days before Shapiro's birthday. That's the governor of Pennsylvania who's from Kansas City, Missouri, right? So that leads me to my next point. What if I told you this incident with a plane in Houston today at the George Bush Airport is 131 days before George Bush's birthday? And I told you this is all connected to the Super Bowl. Wow, how perfect. 131 days before his birthday, Super Bowl 131. Wow. Now, to bring it all together, right? To bring it all together, this happened in Houston, Texas. Who's the governor of Texas? Greg Abbott. What if I told you today is 9 months and 11 days before the governor's birthday? Drop the mic, folks. Wow, this happened 9 months and 11 days before the governor's birthday. Wow, we just connected the whole thing to 9/11. All right, guys, that is it for the first part. But stick around, I got a lot more to show you. But if anybody would like to support the channel, here's how you can do so. Any support is very much appreciated. This is my full-time job. I am not monetized by YouTube. So thank you very much to everyone who does support. Very much appreciated. All right. Now, I want to pull up some other stuff. We're going to recap this again at the end because, you know, we always do the recap. But I want to pull up the Philadelphia plane crash, go through all that quickly, as quick as I can, because I have just a little bit new information for you. And then let me look something up real quick, too. Yeah, see, don't forget, Eagles equals crash, all right? And 3 ciphers. Almost there. Here we go. All right, I'm not going to read everything for the sake of time, but there are some key points with the Philly thing I want to go through again. And thank you, everyone, for the nice comments. I appreciate it. Here, let me just look something up real quick. Hold on. And then we'll get back to this. One sec. Okay, I see. So Chiefs also has that 322 connection. Let me go ahead and mention that. I forget who it was. Someone just put it in the chat. They let me know Chiefs is also 322, which is important since we're making the Super Bowl connection, right? And so Houston equals 322, Chiefs equals 322, and today is 322 weeks after H.W. Bush died. Let me show you that. So yeah, that's a good addition. I don't know how I missed that. Seems like every time I do a decode, I wind up missing something. It happens. All right, hold on. Let me bring up the 322 part again. All right, so you see how this happened in Houston, which equals 322. It was the George Bush Airport. It's 322 weeks after he died, right? And then we're connecting this to the Super Bowl, right, where the Chiefs are playing. Chiefs is also 322. So there you go. All right, let me set this down. All right, give me one sec. And much love to everyone in the chat. I'll get to your comments shortly. Just want to go over this stuff real quick. But thank you guys for being here today. Thank you for being part of the channel. I appreciate you guys. Let me just get to the Philadelphia stuff. But what do you think, guys? How about that, man? Another incident with a plane, and it's perfectly connected to the other two incidents. It's connected to the Super Bowl and Kobe Bryant. And 9/11. Undeniable stuff, man. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Avery. Thank you, Claudia. Everybody in the chat. I see Decoding with Cody's in here. Make sure you subscribe to him. Much love to Cody. All right, let me go over some of this Philly stuff again. All right, so we just talked about all this stuff, how the Eagles picked up win number 666 over the Washington team, leaving them at 666 wins, and they did that on the anniversary of Kobe's death, who's from Philly, who died in a helicopter. And then we had a helicopter in Washington right after the Eagles beat them, and Kobe scored his career high 81 points in game number 666. Don't forget, Kobe had the 666 workout. Don't forget, all these plane incidents are 666 months after the moon landing, where they said the Eagle has landed. And the full name of NASA, National Aeronautics and Space Administration, equals 666. And don't forget, what happened in Washington, that was an American Eagle, right, from Wichita, Kansas, kind of like Kansas City. And again, I know Wichita is in Kansas and Kansas City's in Missouri, but what a confirmation when we had a plane crash in Philadelphia that was headed to Missouri, right? And then again, the same day that they won the championship game to go to the Super Bowl, And they picked up win number 666 on the anniversary of Kobe's death. Before the game was played, they tweeted out a picture of a helicopter and said, "Go Birds." All right, "Go Birds," in all caps, perfect match to Killing and Lucifer, for the record. And the helicopter crash was 159 days after Kobe's birthday. And that was perfect because helicopter equals 159. Plane and helicopter, 159. There were figure skaters on that plane. Figure skaters, 159. And we already talked about all the 33s. I'll talk, because we're going to do a recap on the Houston stuff, which again was connected to the number 33 because today's the 33rd day of the year and Runway equals 33. And we had that helicopter plane collision as that plane was approaching runway 33. And the word collide is 33. And a total of 67 people were killed, 64 from the plane, 3 from the helicopter. A total of 67, like Kobe, equals 67. Kansas City, 67. Water equals 67. Super Bowl 59, when you write it out with Roman numerals, is 67. Here's the pilot of the airplane from the helicopter collision. Hey, Cozy, good to see you. Much love. The plane. There were 2 pilots of the plane that collided with the helicopter. It was Sam Lilly and Jonathan Campos. Sam Lilly, 135.54, like Kobe Bean Bryant, 135.54. And then the other guy, Jonathan Campos, he had the 75, like Kobe, 75, Army helicopter 75, plane and helicopter 75. And that happened on a day with 75 date numerology. And then we found out the name of the helicopter pilot. His name was Andrew Eves. Andrew Eves equals 1831, and that helicopter collision was 1,831 days after Kobe died in a helicopter. Are you kidding me? His last name, Eves, like Eve. Like Eve was tempted by the serpent, and this helicopter plane collision was on the first day of the snake year. Kobe, the black mamba, the snake, right? So Andrew Eves, 1831, he was the helicopter pilot 1,831 days after Kobe died, with the last name Eve, like Eve tempted by the serpent, right? And that plane crashed into the Potomac, which equals 29, on the 29th day of the year, the first day of the snake year. We're connecting it to the Super Bowl, right? Football equals 29. Mahomes equals 29. Mahomes is 29 years old, and the Super Bowl is going to be played on 2/9. And over here you can see where Kobe says, "When I step on that court, I become that. I am that killer snake." And then more 29 snake stuff. When Trump had the military sword on Inauguration Day. Oh, and speaking of Inauguration Day, let me say this real quick. The first crash was on the 29th. That was 9 days after the inauguration. The second crash in Philadelphia was on the 31st. That was 11 days after the inauguration. So we had, remember, he's number 45 and 47, right? 4 plus 5 is 9. 4 plus 7 is 11. So we had a plane crash 9 days and 11 days after the inauguration. There's another big 9/11 for you. So anyways, back to the 29. Remember, this happened on the 29th day of the year. The snake equals 29. Trump has the snake poem. Potomac equals 29. So anyways, on Inauguration Day, he's cutting a cake that has an airplane on it. Okay? And he's cutting it with a sword. And sword's 29 and Trump's 29. But the important part, behind the plane cake, the cake plane, whatever, you had Melania with a dress, and it looks like it's got a black mamba on it. Like a black serpent, right? Kind of telling you, like, hey, look out for the first day of the snake year for a plane incident, right? And speaking of snakes and planes, there's a movie called Snakes on a Plane. And that plane and helicopter crash that happened on the first day of the snake year, it happened 201 days before the anniversary of Snakes on a Plane. And it was approaching runway 33, which equals 201, like that old serpent 201, another name for the devil, like the serpent from the garden, right? And remember, this happened on the first day of the snake year. Well, look at the verse that mentions that old serpent. It's Revelation 12:9. Kind of like the date 129 when it happened. Revelation 12:9, 129. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil. And we just left the year of the dragon. Now we're in the year of the serpent, right? And don't forget how big that number 201 has been. We had the pandemic simulation called Event 201. The full name of the Jesuit Pope, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, equals 201. The Pope lives in suite number 201 at the Domus Sancte Marte, which equals 201. Catholic Pope equals 201. The Georgia Guidestones went down 201 days from the Pope's birthday. Ignatius of Loyola equals 201. That's the founder of the Jesuit order. The Jesuit order equals 201. They just had a pandemic simulation called Preparing for Disease X. That was held 201 weeks after COVID was declared a pandemic. And it was also 201 days from Obama's birthday. The son of perdition, Barack Hussein Obama, equals 201. Event 201 was held on 10/18, which connects to Obama, Luke 10:18. I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. Barack means lightning, bomb of the heights. And who was the main sponsor of Event 201? William Henry Gates, which equals 201. Don't forget, the first celebrity with COVID, Tom Hanks, when he made a post saying, hey guys, I've tested positive for COVID, and, not too bad. The only bad news is I'm losing in gin rummy to my wife by 201 points. Remember that one? The first celebrity with COVID? The 201 points? Excuse me. Now back to the helicopter collision. Remember, there were 3 people in the helicopter, which was fitting because it happened 3 days after Kobe's death anniversary, who died in a helicopter, allegedly. And the helicopter collision was 60 months after Kobe died. And remember, Kobe scored 60 points in his last game, and there were 60 passengers on the plane. 60 passengers, but four crew, right? And the helicopter was a H-60, and the word collide equals 60, and figure skaters equals 60. There were 60 on the plane, right? Or not. Sorry, there were figure skaters on the plane, right? So figure skater 60, collide 60. The helicopter was a H-60. There were 60 passengers on the plane. Kobe scored 60 in his last game, and this happened 60 months after Kobe died. Now, do you remember when Trump's plane had a mechanical issue? That was August 9th, 2024. We had this plane crash 173 days after Trump's plane had mechanical issues. And, let's see. I'm trying to think. Should I pull up? I should probably pull up all the Trump connections real quick while I'm here to the helicopter plane collision. Let me do that. But anyways, Trump had a mechanical issue with his plane, right? That was August 9th, 2024. So the helicopter plane collision was 173 days after Trump's plane had mechanical issues. And look, plane crash is 173. And again, the plane was an American Eagle. The Eagles' record going into the Super Bowl is 17-3 right now. Hello. And then don't forget, that crash happened on the day leaving 336 days left in the year. The helicopter one. Philadelphia Eagles equals 336. And oh yeah, I'm sure it's a coincidence. Eagles express condolences to victims of Philadelphia plane crash. Eagles is a perfect match to crash in 3 out of the 4. But yeah, let me go ahead and pull up the Trump connections since we're talking about it. Give you guys a thorough recap here. Give me 1 second. Gonna have to scroll down a little bit. I've been pretty busy. My computer's always so slow. All right, here we go. What do you guys think so far? Is it all lining up? Can you see it? Can you see how this stuff is all connected? Oh, by the way, just for the record, I'm not saying anything is going to happen at the Super Bowl, right? But it is interesting. I've always thought this lady from iPet Goat 2 looks like the Lombardi Trophy, obviously, right? And don't forget, the year started out this year with the alleged attack in New Orleans on Bourbon Street, right? So just something to think about. Not saying anything will happen at the Super Bowl, but, you know, maybe something around that time to look out for. Just throwing that out there. Just throwing that out there. Okay. Let's get down to the first plane crash so I can show you how it all connects to Trump. Actually, I think I have a separate post just with the Trump connections on that one. Hold on. It'll take me a second to get to it. Oh, and by the way, people are asking me, did you cover the Tonya Harding connection? Of course we did. Tonya Harding, the famous figure skater, just happened to join X just hours before the plane crash. Tonya Harding equals 64. There were 64 people on the plane. And she joined X, right? Look, the runway 33 makes the X. And then look, this is her first post about joining Twitter. I'm very excited. Here's her second post about how she's devastated by the events that took place, blah, blah, blah. Here's her third post. I'm absolutely blown away by the amount of love and support. You know, blown away like the helicopter and plane got blown to bits, allegedly, right? Anyway, yeah, we covered that. What's this? Oh, the connection to the Pope with the plane crash. That was 43 days after the Pope's birthday. Plane crash 43. There was also a plane that crashed into the Potomac 43 years before that. That plane was headed to Florida, which equals 43. This plane was from Wichita, Kansas, Kansas 43 on the first day of the snake year, the snake 43. So much we could talk about, but let's get to the Trump stuff. Here it is. Here it is. Here's the Trump connection to the plane and helicopter collision. So that happened at Reagan National Airport, which equals 229. It happened 229 days after Trump's birthday. Happened in Washington, D.C., which equals 137. Happened 137 days before Trump's birthday. 137, a 33rd prime number, like Runway 33. And Runway equals 33. And that plane was coming from Wichita, Kansas, which equals 138 and 48, like Donald Trump is 138 and 48. And helicopter equals 159. Figure skaters, 159. Plane and helicopter, 159. Donald Trump, 159. That helicopter and plane collision was 159 days from Kobe's birthday, who died in a helicopter. Figure skater, 60. Donald Trump, 60. The word collide is also 60. And here's what we were talking about. 173 days after Trump's plane had mechanical issues, plane crash 173. It was an American Eagle. The Eagles are going into the Super Bowl with the 17-3 record. And I think that was it on the Trump connection. So, anyways, moving on. We already talked about all the sixes. We'll do that on the recap. We talked about the 55s. We talked about the 41. We'll talk about all that again on the recap of the Houston stuff. Now, the back to Philadelphia, that happened near the Roosevelt Mall. Well, look at that, would you? Roosevelt is a perfect match to Super Bowl. Isn't it crazy? Eagles is a perfect match to crash. Roosevelt, perfect match to Super Bowl. It really can't be argued with. It's simple math. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. It is simple math. They said it happened in a high traffic area. See how they highlight high traffic, which equals Kobe Bryant? They were calling it major incident. See how they highlighted major incident? This is the plane crash in Philadelphia. See how major incident is 135 and 81, like Kobe Bean Bryant is 135 and 81? It was an air ambulance jet, which equals 135 and 54, like Kobe Bean Bryant is 135.54. Fly, Eagles, fly, 135.54. And we connect this to Theodore Roosevelt because the Roosevelt Mall is named after him. And this happened 13 weeks and 5 days after Roosevelt's birthday. Like Kobe Bean Bryant, like air ambulance jet, like major incident, fly, Eagles, fly. They're all 135. And it happened 270 days before Roosevelt's birthday. Like air ambulance jet is 270 in reverse. And not including the end date, it happened 96 days after Roosevelt's birthday, like his name, Theodore Roosevelt Jr., 96. If you include the end date, it was 97 days after Roosevelt's birthday, like plane crash is 97. And Roosevelt, the 26th president. Well, that's perfect because this happened near the Roosevelt Mall, right? The 26th president, look, it was a Medevac Learjet. Medevac 26, Learjet 26 Bryant, like Kobe Bryant. They're all 26 in the same cipher. Roosevelt, the 26th president. We talked about the 33s. We'll do that on the recap. We talked about Shapiro. We talked all the 222s, right? That's the big thing with today. Today's 222 days from 9/11. United Airlines flight 222, February 2nd, 222. So we'll cover all that in a recap. Just trying to show you what I haven't shown you yet. Here it is. Now, I put out a short video on this yesterday. Guys, have I not been telling you from the first helicopter and plane collision and then the Philadelphia plane crash? I told you guys it was all connected to Kobe Bryant, right? Well, what happened right after I ended my live stream yesterday, connecting it to Kobe Bryant? Right after I got done with the live stream, they announced the name of the pilot of the plane in Philadelphia. His name is Alan Montoya. And would you look at that? Just look at it, folks. The pilot that crashed in Philadelphia, hometown of Kobe Bryant, his name is Alan Montoya, which equals 41 and 58, like Kobe Bryant is 41 and 58 in the same ciphers. His name, Alan Montoya, is 131, like Roosevelt, 131, Super Bowl 131. When did this happen? When was the plane crash in Philadelphia? It was on 131. And you're telling me the pilot's name equals 131 like Roosevelt and Super Bowl, and his name equals Kobe Bryant? Talk about a confirmation of confirmations. Again, this was announced after I got done with the live stream, where I told you guys it was all connected to Kobe Bryant and the Super Bowl. Alan Montoya equals Kobe Bryant. Alan Montoya equals Super Bowl, including the date 131 when the plane crashed in Philadelphia. And for the cherry on top, his last name Montoya equals crash in two ciphers. Montoya 8632 like crash. So that's pretty undeniable stuff. We've talked about the 223, and I guess that's it. So let's go back to the Houston stuff. We'll do a quick little recap on it, and then we will turn this around, see if you guys have anything to add. But are you guys with me so far? Is there anybody in the chat that thinks I'm a crazy person right now? I don't think so. If anybody were like, hey man, you're crazy, they'd probably just be a troll. Because there ain't no way. This is simple math. Ain't no way it could all line up this perfect and not be a ritual. Okay. So let's go through it one more time. Big breaking news today. We have another plane incident. Passengers on Houston to New York United Airlines flight evacuated after plane catches fire on runway. This article from today, February 2nd. Guys, today is the 33rd day of the year. This happened on a runway. Runway equals 33. We just had the incident with the helicopter and the plane as the plane was approaching runway 33. This happens as the plane is headed to New York. New York equals 33. Sunday equals 33. All in the same cipher. This happened at the George Bush Intercontinental Airport. Today is 33 weeks after George Bush's birthday. Wow. And also, masonry equals 33. The highest degree of masonry, the 33rd degree. And then we had the helicopter plane collision as that plane was approaching runway 33. Kobe equals 33. It was 33 days from the Black Hawk Down premiere anniversary. The word collide was also 33. Again, on these recaps, I try to go as quick as I can so I don't touch every single little detail. So if you really want every little detail, you got to watch the whole video again. But yeah, I always got to do the recaps just in case we miss anything, and it's just better for everyone. So now the other plane story, the one that crashed in Philadelphia, After that plane was going to make a stop in Missouri, the home of the Kansas City Chiefs, it was going to head to Mexico, which equals 33. So today's news, right? Huge 222 ritual. You guys know that's like the biggest channel I talk about on this. What did I just say? Did I just say that's the biggest channel I talk about? What I meant to say was 222 is like the biggest number I talk about on this channel. Always has been, right? That's why I got all the twos in my name. Anyways, guys, I can't even believe this. We have a plane incident today at the George Bush Airport. George Bush, gave the speech about a new world order on September 11th, 1990, and then his son was president during 9/11, right? So there's definitely a connection with the Bushes and 9/11, I'd say. Okay. Well, let's not forget COVID was declared a pandemic 222 months after 9/11. Well, we get this story at the George Bush Airport today of a plane about to head to New York, where 9/11 went down in New York, New York. And that's where the airport is that this was headed towards. It was headed for LaGuardia Airport, which is in New York City, New York, right? So long story short, guys, this is a United Airlines flight. Look at this. Today is 222 days before 9/11. United Airlines flight 222, and the airport is in New York, where it was headed, which equals 222, and today is February 2nd, which equals 222. That's pretty crazy stuff, don't you think? And I already connected the last two plane incidents to the number 222. The one in Philly happened 222 days before the mayor's birthday, and everybody on that plane was allegedly from Mexico. That plane crash was 222 days after Claudia Sheinbaum's birthday, the president of Mexico, and the little girl was staying at Shriners Hospital, which equals 222. Now, one thing I haven't mentioned yet, I keep forgetting this. We're talking about that number 66 also. Remember that Philadelphia plane crash was at 6:06, and Philadelphia equals 6:06, and 6 cars were on fire, and 6 houses were on fire, and 6 people were on the plane, and 6 people on the ground were sent to the hospital. So with all those sixes, one thing I forgot to mention, the current president of Mexico, Sheinbaum, she's the 66th president of Mexico. Just want to throw that out there. And then the other one, the plane that crashed into the helicopter, that was flight 5342, which equals 222. And we're connecting this to the Super Bowl with the Chiefs. And remember, the Chiefs got Andy Reid's first Super Bowl on February 2nd. That's today. It was February 2nd, 2020, 2222. And that was Andy Reid's first Super Bowl when he picked up win number 222 as the head coach of the Chiefs. And guys, remember, this was the first Super Bowl during the time of COVID. We just had the first U.S. case in January, and it was declared a pandemic in March. This was right in the middle, in February. So not only was this the first Super Bowl during the time of COVID, which is all connected to 222, as I'm about to show you, it was also the first Super Bowl after Kobe died, right? So yes, Andy Reid picked up win number 222 in his first Super Bowl victory. And that was the first Super Bowl during the time of COVID. COVID was declared a pandemic 222 months after 9/11. They called it Wuhan coronavirus, which equals 222. And then Obama tested positive 222 days from his birthday. The Antichrist Barack Obama, 222. Obama was back at the White House last year on the day leaving 222 days left in the year. The show Squid Game, it's like the #1 show in the world. Huge connections to Obama. I won't get into all of it right now. But also that show Squid Game, remember, came out 222 days from Obama's birthday. I'm talking about season 2 that just came out. Anyways, trust me, season 1 is also connected to Obama. You got to go back and watch my Squid Game decodes. They'll blow your mind. Anyways, we're talking about the number 222, right? So let me tell you how big that number 222 has been with Donald Trump. We had the first U.S. case of COVID on January 21st, 2020. That was 222 days after Trump's birthday. He calls himself the father of the vaccine, right? And he just rolled out the Stargate project, which has to do with AI vaccines. He did that on the anniversary of COVID, 222 days after Trump's birthday. It was the anniversary of the first U.S. case, right here, January 21st. And then Trump just won the election 222 days before his birthday. And Trump equals 222. And did you know Number one, Trump Organization is also 222. Trump's sister died 222 days from her birthday. Ivana equals 222. Ivana Trump died 222 days from her birthday. And then don't forget World Economic Forum, Wuhan coronavirus, Antichrist system, Event 201, mandatory vaccination, COVID vaccines, they're all 222, right? And now back to the first Super Bowl during the time of COVID, and the first Super Bowl after Kobe died, it was Andy Reid picking up win number 222 on February 2nd, which equals 222. And it was February 2nd, 2020, which equals 2220. And J-Lo did halftime, J-Lo 222. And the Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl 222 weeks after the Kansas City Royals won the World Series. Royals like a crown, like Corona means crown, right? And the one Super Bowl that Mahomes lost, that was the Buccaneers Super Bowl that they won in their home stadium. And that was against Tom Brady. And the one Super Bowl Mahomes lost was 222 days before his birthday. And that was the same year Brady picked up win number 222 as a Buccaneer. And what are the two big numbers with COVID? The 222 and the 201, right? Well, what if I told you in that Super Bowl where Mahomes lost 222 days from his birthday, that was the Super Bowl, also during the time of COVID, right, where Brady threw for 201 yards. And then the Buccaneers went to the White House on the 201st day of the year, like Event 201, right? And if you think it's all a coincidence, Tom Brady came out of retirement 222 days from his birthday. And guess who holds a record for the most touchdown passes under the age of 29? Patrick Mahomes. And the number of touchdowns is 222. And speaking of the Chiefs and the number 222, the Super Bowl last year, the guy who caught the game winner for the Chiefs was Kerry Nicole Hardman Jr., and his birthday is 222 days from Obama's birthday. And don't forget the big connection with Kerry Nicole Hardman Jr. and the Super Bowl. Give me 1 second. Got to drink some water. I've been going for an hour straight. Hold on. So the guy who caught the game winner in the Super Bowl last year, remember, he said he blacked out. And that was the first Super Bowl after Obama's movie, Leave the World Behind, which was about a blackout. And what's crazy, going into that game, I told you guys it would be all about the number 192. And the guy who caught the game winner, Kerry Nicole Hardman Jr., his name equals 192, right? So why did I tell you that the Super Bowl would be connected to the 192? Because it was the first Super Bowl after Leave the World Behind. Leave the World Behind equals 192. That movie, Leave the World Behind, ends in the Commodus bunker. Commodus died in the year 192. The Super Bowl was 192 days from Obama's birthday. Obama equals 192. Don't forget, Great Tribulation is also 192. And now there's rumors that Obama's dating Jennifer Aniston. Remember, Obama's movie had Friends as the theme. And Jennifer Aniston from Friends. Long story short, Jennifer Aniston was born 192 days from Obama's birthday. And we just had the inauguration, the second inauguration of Trump, 192 months after the inauguration of Obama. So again, Obama equals 192. Oh, I forgot to mention these parts. That was Super Bowl 58. When you write out Super Bowl 58, it equals 192. Here. I've been talking about this so much, I should just see if I can pull it up, huh? Let me just pull up the 192s real quick for you. Some people like the visuals better. It sinks in. Yeah, let's just see if I can find the 192 stuff with Kerry Nicole Hardman Jr. See how we just had Trump's second inauguration? 192 months after Obama's inauguration. Obama 192, like Leave the World Behind, like Great Tribulation. Remember this one? Remember the giant dragon inflatable on top of the Empire State Building? 192 days after Leave the World Behind, when Giant Dragon Inflatable is 192. There was so much more with that. I can't remember it all off the top of my head. I might have to look that up too. Hold on. Hold on. That was a huge ritual with the inflatable dragon. See, this is why we do the recaps. We start going different avenues and, you know, you learn more. One sec, guys. Yeah, let me show you the 192s with Kerry Nicole Hardman Jr. in the Super Bowl last year, and I want to show you the inflatable decode. Yeah, this is when I was still in the world. There's an inflatable. God forgive me. But yeah, I had my awakening in 2019. But yeah. Let me see. Let me just type in dragon inflatable. Yeah, I used to have a Santa Claus inflatable when I was still in the world. And long story short, Santa Claus equals 666. Here it is. Sorry, guys. All right, this is the Giant Dragon inflatable. Look, that was on the Empire State Building in New York, right? It was a House of the Dragon marketing stunt, right? So that Giant Dragon inflatable, it was on top of the Empire State Building on June 16th. And that was 192 days after Leave the World Behind, right? Giant Dragon inflatable 192, Leave the World Behind 192, Obama 192, right? Well, look when the show ended. Look, the show House of the Dragon, that's why they put the dragon up there to promote that show. House of the Dragon, it ended on August 4th. What's August 4th? That's Obama's birthday, okay? So if you thought I was crazy, think again. That show ended on Obama's birthday. And look at this. House of the Dragon equals Obama's full name. House of the Dragon, 181-82. Barack Hussein Obama II, 181-82. Look at that. Dragon. Dragon is another name for Satan, right? Obama is 32-103-31 Dragon. 32-103-31. And don't forget all the connections with Obama and Satan. Obviously, Luke 10:18, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. Barack means lightning, bomb of the heights. And Obama's slogan, yes, we can. You listen to it backwards, you'll hear, thank you, Satan. And also, when Obama announced he was running for president, he was exactly 45 years, 6 months, and 6 days old. Strong's 4566 is Satan. And Barack Obama equals dragon. And New York equals 666. Oh, the Giant Dragon inflatable was also put up there 49 days before Obama's birthday, which is Antichrist in Revelation. And remember, the show ended on Obama's birthday. So, and then remember, Obama made the joke about the Red Wedding from Game of Thrones, right? House of the Dragon, a spinoff of Game of Thrones, 177 Red Wedding, like that old serpent, like New World Order. And speaking of 177, we talked about Bush and 9/11, right? George Walker Bush equals 177. Hey, we got 177 watching right now. There's some synchronicity. But anyways, George Walker Bush 177, Reading Mastery 2 177. That was the name of the book where The Pet Goat was located on page 153. The Pet Goat 153. In Gematria, The Pet Goat equals 153. It was located on page 153 of Reading Mastery 2. Don't forget Jesuit Order 153, the Illuminati 153, Heliofont 153. Heliofont made iPet Goat 2, and they took down iPet Goat 2. They put it back up 153 days later. The Guidestones in Elberton, Georgia 153. Antichrist Obama 153. Barry Soetoro 153. Dragon Inflatable 846, like the Fallen Angels 846, like Tribulation 846. This happened in New York. What happened in New York? On 9/11 at 8:46 a.m., the first tower was hit. The verse in the Bible about the synagogue of Satan, Revelation 3:9. says, behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. That equals 8:46 for the record. Like George Floyd had the knee on the neck for 8 minutes 46 seconds before they changed the time. But yeah, anyway, that was a little segue. So that was that. Let me find that stuff I wanted to find on Mecole Hardman Jr. Maybe if I just type in Mecole, it'll pop up. I just want to show you how big he was with the Super Bowl last year. All right, I'll do it this way. Look, so I told you the guy that caught the game winner, his birthday's 222 days from Obama's birthday, like the Antichrist Barack Obama. Look at his first and last name. He goes by Mecole Hardman, but his first and last name is Kerry Hardman, which just happens to equal 666. How's that for a confirmation? Kerry Hardman, 666. And Mecole Hardman equals Antichrist. Let me see if I can find it. Hey, look, there it is. Mecole Hardman equals Antichrist. Mecole Hardman, 68, Antichrist, 68, Barack Obama equals 68. Can't seem to find the 192s. There it is. Thank you, God, because I was getting tired of looking, and I'm trying to go as quick as I can. Here you go. He caught the game winner. By the way, he played high school football in Elberton, Georgia, where the Georgia Guidestones were. And here you go, guys. Here's all the 192s I was saying. Kerry Mecole Hardman Jr., 192. That was the first Super Bowl after Leave the World Behind, which equals 192. That movie ends in the Commodus bunker. Commodus died in the year 192. Look, Super Bowl 58 equals 192. Hello. Usher Raymond IV, 192. He did the halftime show. And look, that Super Bowl was 192 days after Obama's birthday, and Obama equals 192. The guy who caught the game winner said he blacked out, and Obama's movie is about a blackout. Like, that's pretty crazy, right? His name equals Antichrist. His name, Mecole Hardman, what he goes by, equals Antichrist. And I showed you Kerry Hardman equaled 666. And his birthday is 222 days from Obama. If you think all that's a coincidence, I don't know what to tell you. All right. There we go. Sorry that took so long, but I had to throw it in there. Now, we're making all the 222 connections, right? And one more thing. Remember, Kobe kicked off coronavirus. He was buried in Corona del Mar. He died just days after the first U.S. case, right? He died in a helicopter. Helicopter equals 666. Like vaccination, 666. Like COVID declared a pandemic, 666 days after the Cladex pandemic simulation. Long story short, here's another big 222 ritual with Kobe. Francis Ngannou, a UFC fighter, his infant son Kobe died, and little Kobe was named after Kobe Bryant. So little Kobe died April 27th, 2024. That was exactly 222 weeks and 0 days after Kobe Bryant died. And look at the dad's name, Francis Ngannou, 222. So anyways, the only reason we got into all these 222s yet again is because all three of these plane incidents involved the number 222. 5342 equals 222. The one in Philadelphia was 222 days before the mayor's birthday and 222 days after the president of Mexico's birthday. And that matters because everybody on that plane was allegedly from Mexico, including the little girl who was at Shriners Hospital, which equals 222. And now today, perhaps the biggest one, not the biggest story, but the most clear and obvious ritual. Today, we have an incident at the George Bush Airport. Both George Bush, George W. Bush and H.W. Bush, they're both connected to 9/11, obviously, right? Both members of Skull and Bones. George W. Bush, the president during 9/11, his dad gave a speech about a new world order on September 11th, 1990. So this happens at the George Bush Airport 222 days before 9/11. Are you kidding me? American Airlines flight 222. The flight was headed to New York, 222. Today is February 2nd, 222. So Wow. Just wow. Today is 55 years after that the airport opened. It opened 55 years ago, like Satan 55. Like we just had a Learjet 55 crash in Philadelphia after the Eagles scored 55 points on the anniversary of Kobe's death, right? As they picked up win number 666, they score 55 when Satan equals 55. The Eagles have a song called Old 55. And the crash in Philadelphia was 5 years and 5 days after Kobe died. And the witness in Philly was Vadim Osipov, 55. After stopping in Missouri, the home of the Kansas City Chiefs, the plane was headed for Tijuana, Mexico, which equals 55. And the mayor let us know that they opened up a shelter in the 5500 block of Langdon Street, which equals 55. Don't forget, not only is Satan 55, fallen angel equals 55, lightning equals 55, and Satan falls like lightning. And speaking of the number 55 and Satan, you remember the Little Nas X video, J Christ, where he's playing basketball against Satan and Satan's wearing the Satan shoes? Well, long story short, when he's playing basketball against Satan, he's wearing the number 55 jersey, if you remember. Those were the Satan shoes with the Luke 10:18 written on them that he sold 666 pairs for $1,018 a piece, like 1018. And Satan shoes equals Antichrist in multiple ciphers. And then in that video where he's playing basketball against Satan, that was the J Christ video where Obama was represented in that video. And then when he released that video, speaking of that 192, Little Nas X released that video when he had 19.2 million subs, like Obama equals 192. And he stayed at 19.2 million subs for months. Even as his video was getting millions of views, his sub count never changed. If you guys remember that, we kept checking in with it, remember? And it never changed for months. It was at 19.2, the one video where Obama is represented, right? So, moving on. So we're connecting this to Kobe, right? All these plane incidents this week, I've been connecting to Kobe. So today is 126 days before the anniversary of this airport opening. And plane equals 126. And Kobe died on 126. And what if I told you that plane also equals 262, and today is exactly 262 weeks and 0 days after Kobe Bryant died. And this happened at the George Bush Airport, named after the 41st president. Why does that matter? Because Kobe Bryant equals 41, dead at the age of 41. This also connects to the Super Bowl. Super Bowl equals 41. Skull and Bones equals 41. George H.W. Bush, a member of Skull and Bones, right? And speaking of that 41, the plane crash in Philadelphia, it was in the air for 41 seconds. And it happened near the Roosevelt Mall. And Roosevelt is 41, like Super Bowl 41. Don't forget, Roosevelt is a perfect match to Super Bowl. And there were 6 people on the plane. When you write out 6 people, it equals 41. And don't forget how big that number is with Kobe. When Kobe scored his career-high 81 points in game 666, the rest of the team scored 41. In Kobe's last game, he scored 60. The rest of the team scored 41. Kobe's last shot ever was over a guy wearing the number 41 jersey. When he last came off the court for the last time, there were 4.1 seconds left on the clock. And in the film The Black Mamba, where Kobe starred with Kanye, during the film, Kobe throws a basketball time bomb at Kanye West's helicopter, and the last you see of the basketball time bomb, the countdown is 4.1, and Kobe died in a helicopter, right? So Skull and Bones equals 41, right? Well, speaking of Skull and Bones, George H.W. Bush, member of Skull and Bones, right? Well, today we get this news out of Houston at his airport 322 weeks after he died. And Houston equals 322. And Chiefs is also 322. And they're about to play in the Super Bowl, right? Now here's some other Skull and Bones connections. Philadelphia Eagles and Kansas City Chiefs has the 322. And the backwards 322 is the 223. And the plane crash that happened in Philadelphia happened 223 days before 9/11, and Philadelphia equals 223, and plane equals 223. Again, I forgot to put that in my short video earlier today. I'm glad you're seeing it now live. And then notice Skull and Crossbones 223, the Synagogue of Satan 223, and it's in Revelation where it mentions the angel of the church in Philadelphia and the Synagogue of Satan. So that's pretty crazy, right? The Synagogue of Satan 223, Philadelphia 223, plane 223. We have a plane crash in Philadelphia 223 days before the anniversary of the biggest plane crash day in world history, right? Houston, 32. Eagles, 32. Chiefs, 32. More Super Bowl connections. Houston, 112. Super Bowl, 112. Chiefs, 112. The plane was headed for LaGuardia in New York. LaGuardia, 323. New York, 323. Eagles, 323. Lucifer, 323. And New York equals 666. Don't forget the Eagles have 666 wins going into the Super Bowl. If they were to lose, not saying they will, it could be bait, could be a trap, but if they do lose in the Super Bowl, their record will be 666 and 666. I don't know if they're going to be so bold, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And then obviously, you know, this is how we got started talking about Kobe with all these crashes, because the Eagles picked up win number 666 on the anniversary of Kobe's death, who's from Philadelphia. They left the Washington team at 666 wins. And then we had an American Eagle from Wichita, Kansas, like Kansas City, right? Which again, Wichita, Kansas, Kansas City, Missouri, right? But we just had the plane crash in Philadelphia that was headed to Missouri. So don't call it a stretch, right? Kansas, that's the key point. You have an American Eagle from Kansas. Wichita, Kansas is pretty close to Kansas City, Missouri, okay? And long story short, they pick up win number 666, leaving the Washington team on 666. And then we have an American Eagle from Wichita, Kansas. It hits a helicopter. Helicopter equals 666. Kobe died in a helicopter, and Kobe scored his career high in game 666. And right before the game was played, the Eagles tweeted out this picture. Before they picked up win number 666 against Washington, they tweeted out a picture of a helicopter and said, just dropped down to say go Birds. Wow. And then the crash in Philadelphia was at 6:06 p.m., and that's crazy because Philadelphia equals 6:06, and they said 6 people were on the plane who were killed, and 6 people on the ground were hospitalized, and they said 6 houses were on fire and 6 cars were on fire, as the Eagles have 666 wins. And don't forget, the plane, everybody on the plane was from Mexico. Mexico has their 66th president right now. More connections to the Super Bowl. George Bush Intercontinental Airport, 172, like Kansas City Chiefs, 172. Like we just had the crash in Pennsylvania, which was 172. Like Kansas City Chiefs, also 64, like Kansas City Chiefs, 64. How many people were on the airplane that collided with the helicopter? 64 people, right? Then we had Tanya Harding, the figure skater. She joined X right before the crash happened with the figure skaters. Tanya Harding equals 64. And there's a lot more I could say about that number, but I'll hold on to it. And the governor of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro, just happens to be born in Kansas City, Missouri. And the Super Bowl is going to be 131 days before Shapiro's birthday, like Super Bowl 131. And this crash happened near the Roosevelt Mall, Roosevelt 131. And they identified the name of the pilot. His name, Alan Montoya, equaled 131, remember? And his name equaled Kobe Bryant. Now, speaking of the 131, we get this news out of Houston today from the George Bush Airport. 131 days before George Bush's birthday. I mean, come on. Super Bowl 131. And for the cherry on top, we're connecting this whole thing to 9/11. This happened in Houston, Texas. The governor of Texas is Greg Abbott. Today just happens to be 9 months and 11 days before the governor's birthday. Wow. And if anybody needs that again, here it is. If anyone wants to support the channel, very much appreciated. And when I get done with the video, I'll also have links in the description and the comments if anyone wants to support. So thank you very much. And yeah, that is it for this one. Can you believe it? 33rd day of the year, runway 33. 33 weeks from Bush's birthday. Headed to New York, 33. But for me, the 222. 222 days before 9/11. United Airlines flight 222. They were headed for New York, New York, 222 on February 2nd, 222. I can't even believe it, man. All right, let me turn this around. Yeah, if you're coming in late, definitely want to go back and rewatch this one. That's for sure. Remember, you can rewatch on fast forward. But let me check in with the chat. Does anybody have anything to add that I missed? Let me know. But I got my eyes on the chat. If anybody has anything to add, let me know. But yeah, I think we got it all in there. And then we talked about a few other things. Leave the World Behind, Carry Me Cole Hardman Jr., the Giant Dragon Inflatable. So, I think we got it all in there. Thank you, Rels. Appreciate it. Hey, Christina. Hey, Ian. Hey, Scotty. Hey, Saved by the Precious Blood of Jesus Christ. Hey, Claudia. Hey, Bones. Hey, Fender. Good to see ya. But yeah, I want to try to keep this as short as possible. So does anyone have anything to add that I missed? Let me know. If not, we will wrap it up. But yeah, I had to go live with this one, obviously. I mean, wow. Wow. All three of them. All three plane incidents, all connected to the Super Bowl and Kobe, without a doubt. And also 9/11. I mean, even without the Gematria, and obviously the Gematria seals the deal, right? But without the Gematria, what are the odds we have 3 incidents, you know, involving airplanes that are making national news, all within a couple days? Thank you, Rebecca. Hey, Lioness Roars, good to see ya. Hey, Jeff. All right, guys. I think we'll leave it there for today. I think we got it all in there. Hopefully I didn't miss anything, but, you know, it's possible. El Paculi has a 222 connection for the Shriners. Well, did you see Shriners Hospital was 222? Where the little girl was, and it was 222 days from the mayor's birthday and 222 days from the president of Mexico's birthday. Everyone on the plane was from Mexico. But yeah, let me know if you have more to add. Okay, you're going to put it in the comments after the fact because it's really long. Gotcha. Yeah, speaking of leaving comments after the fact, if you guys could do that again today, it'd be really appreciated. I'm going to end this video in like the next minute. So we got 146 watching. If, you know, even half of you guys could just, as soon as I get done, just leave a comment on this video to help out the algorithm, it would be very much appreciated. Just leave anything like a good job or a thumbs up emoji, whatever you want to leave. It definitely helps out. And also, please share this video everywhere you can. Please hit the like button, all that fun stuff. I really appreciate it. But yeah, I think I will wrap it up. And wow, that's all I can say. I'm just, I don't know. I don't have any more words. I'm just speechless, you know. The numbers are undeniable. These are undeniable rituals in your face. And just wow. Wow. All right, guys. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for being part of the channel. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Please do me a favor on the way out. Please hit the like and the share. Very much appreciated. And as always, keep looking up. We are living in the biblical end of days. Jesus is coming very soon. I can't wait. And I will see you guys on the next video. God bless.